Everyone failed the CEO's challenge until a delivery girl passed by and solved problem. In 1 sec, love came. Imagine this, a room filled with the brightest minds in the company, all staring at a whiteboard like it holds the secrets of the universe. The CEO stands at the front, arms crossed, his expression unreadable but undeniably intense. He's just posed a challenge, a problem so complex that even the senior executives are scratching their heads. Minutes tick by, then hours, and no one has cracked it. Frustration hangs heavy in the air. But what happens next? Something no one could have predicted. A delivery girl walks into the office, completely unaware of the chaos brewing inside, and solves the problem in less than a second. And that's not even the most surprising part, because love comes knocking when you least expect it. Let me take you back to where it all began. It was an ordinary day at Innovatex Solutions, a cutting-edge tech firm known for its innovation and high stakes. The employees were buzzing about the mysterious announcement from their enigmatic CEO, Mr. Adrian Carter. Known for his sharp mind and unyielding standards, Adrian wasn't someone who handed out compliments easily. His challenges weren't just tests. They were battles designed to push people beyond their limits. Today, however, felt different. There was electricity in the air, a mix of anticipation and dread. Rumors swirled around the office corridors. Some said the challenge would determine promotions. Others whispered it might be about saving the company from a looming crisis. Whatever it was, everyone knew failure wasn't an option. Adrian stepped into the conference room precisely at 9 a.m., dressed impeccably as always. His piercing gaze swept across the table, taking in the anxious faces of his top team members. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice calm yet commanding. "Today we face a test of creativity, logic, and teamwork. On this board," gestured toward the whiteboard behind him, "is a puzzle that needs solving. Your task is simple. Find the solution within 2 hours." Simple? Not quite. As soon as he revealed the intricate diagram and cryptic clues on the board, murmurs erupted. Numbers, symbols, arrows. It looked more like a labyrinth than a solvable equation. The room fell silent as everyone leaned forward, trying to decipher the impossible. For the next hour, ideas flew back and forth. Some suggested mathematical formulas. Others proposed coding algorithms, while a few brainstormed abstract theories. Yet every attempt ended in frustration. The clock ticked mercilessly, each second amplifying the pressure. Tempers flared, alliances formed and dissolved, and coffee cups piled up on the table. Despite their collective brilliance, no one could piece together the puzzle. Even Sarah, the head of R&D, and widely regarded as the smartest person in the room, admitted defeat after nearly tearing her hair out. "This isn't just difficult," she muttered under her breath. "It's impossible." Just as despair started settling over the group, there was a knock at the door. Everyone turned to see a young woman standing there, holding a clipboard, and wearing a bright yellow uniform emblazoned with the logo of Speedy Deliveries. Her name tag read Maya. She glanced around the room, clearly confused by the tense atmosphere. Hi," she said hesitantly. "I have a package for Mr. Carter." Her voice broke through the tension, like a ray of sunlight piercing dark clouds. For a moment, everyone forgot about the unsolvable puzzle. Adrian nodded curtly and gestured for her to enter. Maya stepped inside, clutching the package tightly. As she approached the table, her eyes inadvertently landed on the whiteboard. Without thinking, she tilted her head slightly, studying the chaotic mess of numbers and symbols. Then, almost instinctively, she pointed at the board and said, "Oh, that's easy. You just need to flip the sequence. The room froze. Every pair of eyes locked onto Maya. Disbelief etched on their faces. Someone finally managed to stammer. "What do you mean flip the sequence?" Maya blinked, realizing she had spoken. Aloud. "Well," she explained matter-of-factly, "if you reverse the order of those steps, everything aligns perfectly. See?" She grabbed a marker from the table and quickly scribbled something on the board. In seconds, the seemingly impossible puzzle transformed into a coherent solution. The stunned silence was deafening. No one moved. No one spoke. Finally, Adrian broke the spell with a slow clap. "Brilliant," he said, his tone laced with admiration. "Absolutely brilliant." The others exchanged incredulous looks. How had this delivery girl solved in seconds what they couldn't crack in hours? Questions flooded the room. But before anyone could ask anything, Maya shrugged modestly. "It's just logic," she said with a shy smile. "Sometimes you don't need to overthink things." With that, she handed over the package and turned to leave, leaving behind a whirlwind of awe and curiosity. But here's the twist. As Maya reached the door, Adrian called out, "Wait!" She paused, turning back to face him. There was something in his voice, an urgency, a spark of interest that hadn't been there before. "What's your name again?" he asked, stepping closer. "Maya," she replied, suddenly feeling self-conscious under his intense gaze. Adrian smiled, extending his hand. "Thank you, Maya. You've done something remarkable today." Their hands met briefly, but the connection lingered far longer. Sparks flew, not just between them, but among the entire room. Was this chance encounter destined to change everything? As Maya left the building, the office buzzed with speculation. Who was she? Where did she come from? And how did she possess such clarity of thought? Meanwhile, Adrian retreated to his office, deep in thought. That evening, as the city lights flickered to life outside his window, he found himself replaying the moment in his mind. Her confidence, her simplicity, her unexpected brilliance. It intrigued him. More than that, it captivated him. For the first time in years, Adrian felt a flicker of something he hadn't allowed himself to feel in a long time. Hope. Hope for new possibilities, both professional and personal. And yet, the story doesn't end here. What happens next will unravel. Layers of ambition, vulnerability, and serendipity. Will Maya return to the world of puzzles and corporate challenges? Can Adrian bridge the gap between his high-powered life and the humble delivery girl who changed the game? Or is this merely the beginning of a journey neither of them saw coming? Stay tuned, because the answers lie just around the corner. And trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. The next morning, Maya woke up to the sound of her alarm blaring at 6 a.m. She groaned, rolling over in her small studio apartment that smelled faintly of coffee and old books. Life as a delivery girl wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills and gave her time to dream. Ever since she was a kid, Maya had been fascinated by patterns. Whether it was arranging her toys in perfect symmetry or solving math problems faster than anyone else in class, she had always found joy in logic and order. But life hadn't given her many chances to shine beyond her little world of packages and roots. So when she walked into Innovatech Solutions the day before, she hadn't expected anything extraordinary to happen. Yet here she was, replaying the events of yesterday in her mind like a movie scene, stuck on repeat. Meanwhile, Adrian sat in his sleek office chair, staring at the whiteboard, still covered with Maya's elegant solution. He couldn't shake off the feeling that something monumental had shifted. Not just for the company, but for him personally. Adrian prided himself on being a man of reason. someone who thrived on control and precision. But Maya's sudden appearance felt like a crack in his carefully constructed facade. For years, he'd surrounded himself with people who mirrored his ambition, yet none of them had solved the puzzle as effortlessly as she did. Her simplicity unsettled him in ways he couldn't quite articulate. Was it envy, admiration, or perhaps something deeper? That afternoon, Adrian called an emergency meeting with his executive team. The atmosphere was tense. Everyone knew they had failed where a delivery girl had succeeded. Sarah, the head of R&D, looked particularly shaken. "Sir," she began hesitantly, "if you're thinking of restructuring based on yesterday's incident, I think we need to consider context. We were under pressure. That environment doesn't bring out the best in everyone." Adrian raised an eyebrow. "Pressure is part of the job, Sarah. If we can't handle it, how can we lead?" His words hung heavy in the air, but there was no denying the truth behind them. Still, Adrian surprised everyone when he announced, "I want to meet with Maya again, not as a delivery person, but as a consultant." Word spread quickly through the office about Adrian's decision. Some employees whispered in disbelief, others muttered about favoritism, while a few secretly admired his boldness. Among them was Daniel, a junior analyst who idolized Adrian, but also harbored a quiet crush on Maya. He'd seen her around the building a few times before, always cheerful, always efficient, and couldn't help wondering what made her tick. When he heard about Adrian's plan, Daniel felt a pang of jealousy mixed with curiosity. What if Maya really did have something special? Something none of them could replicate. Maya, meanwhile, was completely unaware of the storm brewing around. Her name. She spent her day navigating traffic, dodging impatient drivers, and delivering parcels to busy executives who barely acknowledged her presence. By evening, she returned home exhausted, only to find a letter waiting for her outside her door. It was from Innovatex Solutions, formally inviting her to join their team as a creative consultant. The letter promised competitive pay, flexible hours, and opportunities to work on groundbreaking projects. Maya read it 3 times, convinced it was some kind of prank. Who would offer a random delivery girl such an incredible opportunity? And why now? Her doubts didn't stop her from showing up at Innovatech the following week though. Dressed in her best outfit, a navy blue dress borrowed from her roommate, Maya walked into the same conference room where she'd solved the puzzle days earlier. This time, however, the energy was different. Instead of hostility, she sensed curiosity. Instead of judgment, she felt intrigue. Adrian greeted her warmly, introducing her to the team and explaining the role they envisioned for her. "We believe your unique perspective could revolutionize the way we approach problems," he said, his eyes locking onto hers. Maya nodded, trying to mask her nerves. "I'll do my best," she replied softly. As weeks turned into months, Maya became an integral part of the team. At first, her ideas seemed too unconventional, almost naive, to the seasoned professionals. But soon, they realized her ability to see connections others missed was nothing short of genius. Under her guidance, the company launched several innovative products that earned rave reviews. Employees started looking at her not as an outsider, but as a catalyst for change. Even Sarah warmed up to her, admitting one day, "You've taught us to think differently." "Thank you." But success came with its own set of challenges. As Maya grew closer to Adrian, their dynamic shifted. Late-night brainstorming sessions turned into heartfelt conversations about dreams, fears, and regrets. Adrian confided in her about the loneliness of leadership, while Maya opened up about her struggles growing up in a low-income neighborhood. They laughed together, argued passionately, and slowly began to blur the lines between professional respect and personal affection. The tension between them was palpable, noticed by everyone, including Daniel, whose feelings for Maya deepened despite knowing she was out of reach. Then came the day everything changed. Adrian received news that Innovatech was facing a hostile takeover bid from a rival company. To save his business, he needed to present a revolutionary idea at the upcoming Tech Summit, a project so ambitious it could redefine the industry. Desperate for inspiration, he turned to Maya. Together, they worked tirelessly, pouring their hearts into designing a prototype that combined cutting-edge technology with sustainable practices. It was risky, untested, and utterly brilliant. But as the deadline approached, cracks began to show. Stress strained their relationship, and misunderstandings brewed beneath the surface. One argument escalated until Maya stormed out, leaving Adrian alone in the lab, staring at the half-finished prototype. With only 48 hours left before the summit, Adrian realized he couldn't do this without her. Pride battled with desperation as he debated whether to chase after her. Meanwhile, Maya wrestled with her own emotions. She cared deeply for Adrian, but the weight of their differences loomed large. Could love truly conquer all, or was this destined to end in heartbreak? As the clock ticked down, both of them faced choices that would alter not just their careers, but their lives forever. And then, just when hope seemed lost, a breakthrough emerged, not from Adrian or Maya individually, but from the synergy of their combined strengths. In a moment of clarity, Maya remembered a childhood memory, a simple game she used to play that sparked an idea powerful enough to save the project. Racing back to the lab, she found Adrian pacing anxiously. Their eyes met, and without a word, they dove back into work. Fueled by determination and newfound resolve, the final piece fell into place just minutes before the presentation. But as they stood side by side, ready to unveil their masterpiece to the world, another twist awaited them, one that would test their courage, trust, and love in ways neither of them anticipated. Would their bond withstand the ultimate challenge, or would the pressures of ambition tear them apart? As Adrian and Maya stood backstage, the hum of the crowd buzzed through the closed doors. The Tech Summit was in full swing, with industry leaders and innovators gathered to witness groundbreaking ideas. Their prototype, a sleek device that combined renewable energy technology with intuitive AI, rested on a pedestal beside them, glowing faintly under the soft lights. It represented months of sleepless nights, heated debates, and moments of pure brilliance. But as the host announced their names, calling them to the stage, neither Adrian nor Maya felt ready for what came next. They walked out together, the spotlight catching the nervous yet determined expressions on their faces. Adrian began the presentation, his voice steady but tinged with emotion as he explained the vision behind the project. When it was Maya's turn to speak, she hesitated for a split second before stepping forward. Her words were simple yet powerful, connecting the audience to the heart of the innovation, solving real-world problems without compromising the planet's future. The applause that followed was thunderous, but just as they thought they'd won, the day the unexpected happened. A man in a sharp suit stood up from the front row, his face cold and calculating. "Impressive," he said, his tone dripping with sarcasm, "but not original." He held up a document, claiming it proved that Innovatech had stolen the concept from another company, one he conveniently owned. Gasps rippled through the room as cameras flashed, capturing every moment of chaos. Adrian's jaw tightened, and Maya's heart sank. This was the rival CEO who had been trying to take over Innovatech, and now He'd struck a devastating blow. For a moment, panic threatened to overwhelm them. But then Maya remembered something Daniel had mentioned weeks ago during one of their brainstorming sessions. A patent application they'd filed early on, long before anyone else could claim ownership. She whispered urgently to Adrian, "The patent, we registered it." Adrian nodded, his confidence reigniting. Turning back to the audience, he calmly addressed the accusation. "What you're seeing today is the result of our team's hard work, legally protected and ethically developed. If there are doubts, I invite you to review the documentation filed with the patent office." The room fell silent as officials scrambled to verify the claim. Minutes felt like hours, but eventually the truth came out. The rival CEO's allegations were baseless. Not only had Innovatech secured the rights to the invention, but his attempt to discredit them had backfired spectacularly. The crowd erupted into cheers, and Adrian and Maya exchanged a glance filled with relief and something more. In that shared victory, the walls between them crumbled completely. After the summit, life at Innovatech transformed. The prototype became a global sensation, catapulting the company to new heights. Employees celebrated Maya as a hero, her unconventional thinking earning her respect far beyond what anyone expected. For Adrian, the experience taught him humility and the value of embracing diverse perspectives. Together, they rebuilt not just the company, but their relationship too. What started as professional admiration blossomed into something deeper, rooted in trust and mutual understanding. Daniel, meanwhile, found solace in supporting Maya from afar. Though his feelings for her never faded entirely, he realized that true love meant wanting her happiness. Even if it wasn't with him, he threw himself into his work, channeling his emotions into creativity, and eventually earning recognition for his contributions to the project. His friendship with Maya remained strong, a testament to the power of letting go. Months later, on a crisp autumn evening, Adrian surprised Maya with a quiet dinner at a rooftop restaurant overlooking the city. The skyline glittered below, mirroring the spark in his eyes as he took her hand. "Maya," he began, his voice trembling slightly. "You've changed everything for me, for us. I don't know where I'd be without you." Maya smiled, tears welling up in her eyes. "We did it together," she replied softly, and in that moment, surrounded by the beauty of the city they'd helped shape, Adrian asked her to stay by his side forever. Their journey hadn't been easy, but it was worth every challenge. From the day Maya walked into the conference room as a delivery girl to becoming the heart of Innovatech's success, her story inspired countless others. It reminded people that brilliance isn't defined by titles or degrees. It's about seeing the world differently and daring to make a difference. Love, too, found its place in the most unexpected corners, proving that sometimes the greatest connections come when we least expect them. As the credits roll on this tale, remember this: opportunities often disguise themselves as challenges, waiting for someone brave enough to seize them. Whether you're solving puzzles, chasing dreams, or opening your heart to love, the key lies in believing in yourself and trusting that even the smallest actions can lead to extraordinary outcomes.